This is a story about Bob and his trip to the airport. This is also a story about the various ways he travels. Although most of the time he travels independently, today he'll find himself in an environment in which he might prefer to be guided. Bob's visiting family in El Paso and is taking the bus to the airport. Well, it's pretty noisy inside the old airport, so it looks like Bob's going to take Nancy, an airport employee, up on her offer to help. Nancy, don't ever grab a person's cane, and don't grab him. If you're not sure how to help him, then just ask. There you go. Just contact Bob's arm with the back of your hand. He'll trail his hand and hold you just above your elbow. Now, Nancy, just relax and start walking. Stay about a half step ahead of Bob so he can get information from the movement of your body. Okay, Nancy, what about these stairs? Well, Nancy, instead of pushing him, why don't you just ask Bob what's best for him? Bob's telling Nancy that you approach head on, pause at the bottom, and square off side by side. Nancy, you take the first step, stay one step ahead of Bob, and it's the same way going down the stairs as coming up. Just pause before you begin going up or down. Looks like Nancy and Bob are getting along just fine. There's even time for coffee before the flight. Whoa, Nancy, I know it's crowded, but you can't push him out in front of you like that. Now's a good time to just ask him what to do. Bob will straighten her out. He's telling her to start the guiding technique like you normally would. Nancy, he trails up your arm. Now put your arm in the small of your back. He trails to your wrist, extends his arm. That keeps him from stepping on your heels. See how you two are in single file now? That's the way to do a narrow space. Now when you get out in the open, drop your arm and continue ahead. Here's a different technique. Sometimes people like to put a hand on the shoulder of their guide. See how Bob is right behind Nancy with his right hand on her right shoulder? That'll do it. Narrow space techniques are also handy in stores with narrow aisles in a restaurant or in any other crowded space. Now, Nancy, sitting down at a table can't be that difficult. Nancy, does pushing him like that seem right to you? Listen, if you're confused, just ask. Now let's try that the right way. Just put your hand on the back of the chair. He'll trail down and take it from there. And he'll turn around and put his legs against the back of the chair and just sit down. Now y'all can set jaw a spell and have that cup of coffee. Nancy and Bob need to get through this door. She's thinking he may need to go someplace else. Come on, Nancy. Just ask him. He'll tell you. I imagine he's telling you to just open that door and walk through. He'll be able to tell which side of his body the door is on and catch it as he goes through. If he doesn't, just say, "Hey, Bob, the door's opening in on your left." Okay, Nancy, it's been fun, but Bob's going to take it from here. He's got enough info to walk down to his gate by himself. Thanks, Nancy. Well, look who found each other again today. Uh-oh. Bob needs to get up the escalator, and that really has Nancy worried. Bob may not need help, but if he does, just ask. He could trail down your arm to find the railing and then move up to the edge of the first step. You go first, he'll follow. When you get to the top, step off, and Bob will do the same. It's the same system coming down, Nancy. Locate the railing, scoot up, and then step forward. Well, it's time for Bob to catch a taxi home. Here's where Bob and Nancy say goodbye. Now, this taxi driver's working a whole lot harder than he needs to. Nancy suggests that you guessed it, just ask. All he needs to do is show Bob where the door handle is by putting his own hand on it. Then Bob trails down his arm, finds it, and he opens the door and gets in all on his own. An important thing to remember is that no two people are the same. Each person will always know the best way they like to be helped. So be flexible, and when in doubt, just ask.